Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. From the start, state police made it clear the Lawrenceburg man who allegedly wanted to shoot up local schools could have done a lot of damage.
Luckily, nothing ever happened, but today in court, police opened up about what they say was Dylan Jarrell's plan of attack, and they say he was prepared and ready to shoot. LEX 18's Carolina Buchek has more in tonight's big story at 6.
For the first time in public, state police went into detail about Dylan Jarrell's alleged plan to carry out a school shooting. And state police made it clear they actually found a manifesto. In it, Jarrell allegedly wrote that he wanted to be the next school shooter of 2018, and even more than that. State police say Jarrell did his homework. He allegedly researched other school shootings and was ready to go.
Spoke of the shooters, how they carried out the attack, how many people died.
Trooper Josh Satterley, the one who started this investigation, told the judge that Jarrell wrote about other school shooters in great detail in his manifesto.
They claimed that he was going to be the next school shooter of 2018.
Part of the alleged attack included the media. Satterley said Jarrell had contact information for all sorts of news stations, both national and local ones.
So he could send out a mass email before he carried out the attack.
It's still unclear which local stations, including LEX 18, were on Jarrell's list. But all of these alleged plans were stopped by police, who say they found Jarrell pulling out of his driveway.
He had several hundred rounds of ammunition. He had a couple hundred-round drones.
Armed and ready. Covering the news in Anderson County, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
The judge was split in her decision to move Jarrell's charges forward in court today, so one charge for terroristic threatening will go to the grand jury. Meanwhile, Jarrell remains in jail and his bond has been set at $500,000.
2 students in Adair County are in hot water tonight for their taste in Halloween costumes. The high school has suspended the teenage girls for 3 days after they came to school yesterday portraying the Columbine school shooters. LEX 18's Mike Valenti has details.
Tonight, these pictures making the rounds on Facebook, sparking outrage and leaving people to wonder what would compel 2 teenagers to dress up as school shooters for Halloween.
It's really a sad thing for them to even think about doing something like that.
It's not acceptable in any form or fashion.
Even though it is fake, you know, it's something that could happen, and it is very real.
If the students were trying to be discreet, it didn't work. One picture posted to Instagram depicts the girls apparently recreating the image taken of the 2 shooters when they were found dead. Another post accompanied by the caption Dylan and Eric 2018, the names of the killers who perpetrated one of the worst school shootings in American history.
It's very, very serious because you never know when the next one can happen somewhere.
The reactions online run the gamut. Some claim they were glorifying school shooters. Others took it as a threat. Tommy Bryant wouldn't go that far, but he has a son at the school and was deeply disturbed.
If the parents knew that this was going to happen in things, I think they should have stopped it and not let it happen.
A father of one of the students told us on the phone the girls acknowledged they made a mistake, but he also struck a defiant tone, saying the school blew the whole situation out of proportion. Other parents here beg to differ. Covering the news in Adair County, Mike Valenti, LEX 18 News.
And that father added he didn't know what the girls were supposed to be in their costumes, and that since the incident, they've actually received threats.
Tonight, we're hearing from the Louisville man who shot at Gregory Bush in the Kroger parking lot last week after Bush allegedly shot and killed 2 people. Dominic and Kiera Rozier say it's been a tough week trying to get life back to normal, but they're thankful to be alive. Tiffany Jackson has their story.
Dominic and Kiera Rozier were heading into Kroger last Wednesday to pick up cupcakes for their son's birthday, but never made it inside.
Somebody was just like, don't go in there, they're shooting.
Kiera said she saw the suspect, Gregory Bush, walk outside, then she saw Vicki Lee Jones.
She was really close to me. She was on the phone and I heard her say, she's trying to get home. She said, these people are shooting, they're crazy, I just want to get home, Lord, let me get home. He looked at her and he kind of grinned and he just shot her. And that's when I froze.
Kiera says that's when Dominic drew his gun. Dominic and Bush started firing at each other.
We were a car length apart from having gunfire back and forth.
No one was hit, but Dominic says he's sorry for putting anyone else in harm's way.
Well, I was going to protect me and my wife.
Covering the news in Louisville, Tiffany Jackson, LEX 18 News.
Dominic says he got his concealed carry license just in case something like this happened. He says he's not a hero. He was just trying to protect his family.
Panic this morning after word of an active shooter at St. Clair Medical Center in Rowan County, but police say it was all a rumor. The hospital was evacuated as a precaution, but police say there was never a threat, no one was taken into custody, and no shots were fired. A Kentucky Circuit Court judge faces felony charges after being indicted by a grand jury.
These are only allegations against Judge Beth Mays, who previously faced separate ethics charges. LEX 18's Lee Searcy has the story from Bath County.
Chief Circuit Judge Beth Mays already faced 5 counts of official misconduct from the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission. Now the 18-year veteran judge over Bath, Rowan, Menifee, and Montgomery counties is under indictment. It states on or about September 18th of last year, Mays committed 2 counts of forgery second by falsely making, completing, or altering a public record, and committed count 3, tampering with public records by knowingly making a false entry in or falsely altering a public record. In August, we questioned Mays about why she got involved and ordered a drug test when her ex-husband, Champ Mays, was arrested in 2017. She admitted to us she wrote that the Commonwealth's attorney and the Bath County attorney had signed off on the order when in fact they did not.
I did write that, and am I sorry I wrote it? Sure. That night, it was a very emotional night.
Mays is currently suspended with pay by the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission. According to the JCC's complaint, Mays violated ethics rules when she got involved in her ex's case and allegedly on her own or through her staff tried to see if any confidential informants were involved in her ex-husband's criminal drug case. As for the indictments, her attorney says he's disappointed because Mays never had the chance to tell her side of the story to the grand jury. Covering the news in Bath County, Lee Searcy, LEX 18 News.
You know, the heavy rain was yesterday, last night, and for some of us this morning as well. Now we've got some light rain left around, and it's really getting pretty spotty. We've got a few little light showers. You look up there toward Bourbon County, up into Harrison County, a couple moving through Fayette County as well. There's also a line of thunder showers as you look back toward I-65. Those will be arriving over the next couple of hours. So here are at 7 o'clock, those thunder showers approaching the 127 corridor, and they will be working their way pretty quickly eastward as we work our way through this evening. That is the cold front that will be bringing our temperatures back to November-like levels. We work our way through tomorrow. Little spotty showers will be a possibility, some drizzle in between those. It's kind of a cloudy, clammy day, a breeze and cold temperatures. The thing is, we get these clouds out of here, not so much Saturday morning. I think we would begin with some clouds, but they should erode away quickly, and your day will be improving just in time for the football game. It is certainly brisk out there to our west, but we're still in the warmth for the moment. Mid-60s for many of us. Lexington sits at 66. We'll talk about the changes coming in. Look ahead to your weekend in detail in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Bill.
The National Weather Service confirms yesterday's storms produced at least 1 tornado.
Officials say an EF1 tornado touched down in Hardin County near Rineyville. The storm came through about 6 last night. Some people in the Rineyville area had shingles torn off their roofs, trees on the ground, and outbuildings damaged or destroyed. One couple says they will have to rebuild after the storm demolished their garage, holding countless memories. But they're thankful no one was injured.
It's scary. It sucks. I mean, luckily we're alive.
All of the damage is contained to an area of about a half a mile. 13 new cases of hepatitis A have been confirmed in Lexington for the month of October, bringing the total to 35 across the state in the last month.
The county health department is urging everyone to get their vaccination, as 20% of these new cases are coming from people who are not considered at risk. Then there's the obvious measure everyone can take in order to stay safe.
Hepatitis A is spread when people go to the bathroom, they don't properly wash their hands, they handle something, whether it's food or some object that gets to their mouth, and then it gets ingested. So basically, if you use the bathroom, wash your hands.
Hall said the CDC reports 60% of adults are not washing their hands regularly following bathroom use.
A festival is planned this weekend in support of a Scott County deputy who was shot on the job.
And organizers hope they can continue to support him for years to come. That's next on LEX 18 News at 6.